Hello and welcome to That's Dota. You're watching a solo cast tonight. My name's Mike. I'll be casting this random draft game on my own. We've got 5 guys who you may have seen from previous casts on our channel, the boys from the Sekrit Forum, against 5 chaps that we don't know as well, but we're going to be casting them with just as much interest. So it's a random draft game. Draft's almost complete. We're going to take a little bit of time to introduce the teams first, I think, before we comment on the picks, because as this is a random draft game, we can't see the bans or picks or the hero pool available, but certainly some interesting picks coming out already, and it's shaping up to be an interesting game, to say the least. So one more pick left for the Dire team, and then we'll dive into the game and introduce the teams. Just finishing up, taking the time, just a few seconds left. Maybe under a bit of pressure here. There we go. Last pick. Don't think that was a random. I think they did make a decision there. So let's make sure we are set up, and then we can introduce our teams. So
prepare for battle.
Bit of lag here. Just getting that resolved. On the Radiant team, we have Welcome Free Lose on the Weaver, going towards the offlane. We've got Yaxon on the Keeper of the Light. Hellbrain will be taking the Pudge mid. AVE will be taking the Lich, and DL Jesse on the Skeleton Kang. For the Dire team, the Secret Boys, we have Daj on his Kunkka. We've got Dr. Funtimes taking the mid lane on the Night Stalker, Serial Misinterest on the offlane Bounty Hunter, and picking up the support is going to be Ingi on the Shadow Demon, and then Jim West Desperado on the Bat Rider. So an interesting draft coming out here. From a purely draft standpoint, other than the Skeleton King, which looks a bit funny, and obviously the Pudge pick, which in a pub can go either way, I do like this what looks like a potential tri-lane coming out for the Radiant. The Weaver and the Lich is going to be a strong lane. Looks like Kotal might go down to the bot lane to help out the Skeleton King, but right now these lanes for the Dire are a bit more greedy. We've got the Bounty, who looks like he'll be soloing. Jim maybe taking the Bat Rider to the jungle.
Battle begins.
Night Stalker at the mid, and then a Kunkka Shadow Demon safe lane. It's a little bit greedy. This Night Stalker certainly isn't going to be able to do much on his first night, I don't think. I mean, which lane is he really going to rotate to? Both lanes feel pretty strong, and I'm not really sure whether he's going to be able to get much done here. We're going to have a pause from Jim, give us a bit of time to digest the opening loadout. So we've started off with some rune wards for the Radiant. Wards for the Dire not placed yet, but Bounty's taken them bot, so he'll be looking to give himself some vision on rotations, as well as maybe block off some of these pools, or at least give him some vision on them, so that he can know when that Kotal's making the pull and maybe try to interrupt it. Everything else looks pretty standard coming out here. Skeleton King, an interesting pickup. We can't really see what these drafts were in terms of the hero pool, but you need to be sure you're getting something out of a pick like Skeleton King, because if he doesn't get the farm and the space that he needs, he's not really going to be doing much until later on in the game. That said, the Dire definitely have picked a lineup that needs space to farm, and I don't know about this. I like the Shadow Demon pickup in terms of the Pudge. It was picked up before the Pudge, I believe, but it's going to provide them with a little bit of lockdown and defense here. I think a lot of their mid-game is going to be based on how well Jim can do in the jungle, whether he can get up his blink to be able to make that lasso count. A hero like Weaver, there isn't much super reliable lockdown on the Dire team. They've got a slow from the Night Stalker, the disruption from the Shadow Demon, but other than that, it's really all on the Bat Rider's lasso. So I think it's going to be a bit of a tense early game for both teams. We should see the lanes go fairly well for the Radiant with the Lich presence here, combined with Kotal at the bot lane, who's probably going to be making Bounty Hunter's life absolute hell if he can get off those Illuminates. Although taking last hits from the Skeleton King here, so hopefully we won't see too much more of that. This mid lane matchup, 2 melee heroes against each other, but that does give Pudge a slight edge, at least initially. So I'll have to make sure Dr. Funtimes can get his last hits and just maximize his gain from this lane early on, because I mean, with the new changes to Night Stalker, some people feel like he should be active in the first night, other people feel a bit differently. My opinion, for what it's worth, is that the first night is now less important. You're getting them more frequently, and the first night comes really early on, and unless you're having a great game as Night Stalker, or you've got great setup from the supports, Night Stalker's not going to be doing much by the time the first night comes around. So I'd like to see, especially with their lineup, Dr. Funtimes maybe take a little bit more time here to get up some levels and some items before he goes roaming. And Pudge is actually having a great time in this lane, 8-1 against the 3-1 of Dr. Funtimes. So we'll have to see if that situation maintains itself once Dr. Funtimes gets a few more levels up in the Night Stalker, pads out some of his skills. Meanwhile, to Jay, pushing up the lane a bit with the Tidebringer combined with the Sacrifice, it's a pretty bad double whammy for this lane, really. Lich denying the XP as well as the creep equilibrium. On top of that, the Tidebringer just pushing the lane out whether Kunkka wants it to or not. So a difficult lane to keep under control here, and Ingi's not been able to make any pulls yet. It looks like Jim's actually maybe not looking to pull it. So Jim's actually going to be farming the pull camp as well. So this equilibrium is really going to be a mess for them for some time. And on the bot lane, actually Kotl not having to do much to interfere with the lane. He's just pulling at the moment, which is going to be a massive annoyance to Misandrist here on the Bounty Hunter. He's looking to interrupt it here. Meanwhile up top, a little bit of harass on Kunkka there. Shikuchi, maybe a few too many right clicks coming out, especially with that Geminate attack now up on Weaver. So, lane equilibrium or not, Kunkka's actually out CSing the Weaver here, 9-2 for 6-0, so not going too badly for him. I think at the moment it's all going to be about this mid lane and about which hero feels comfortable enough to rotate first. But you can see Night Stalker just got his wand up, but not many last hits, and the first night's going to be in 45 minutes. So I really feel like he's got to be thinking that, oh, mid lane, he's popped his rot, he's gone in, he must have got a hook off there. Very close. I think maybe if Dr. Funtimes had just turned around and right-clicked, he could have got that kill, but decides to try and walk away. And Pudge, this is one lucky mid player, because he's about to pick up a regen rune, and first blood into a regen rune like this, that's exactly what he needed to tip the lane in his favour. And this is before the first night's even happened, so a really bad lane for Night Stalker so far. He's coming in here, he will be spotted out by the Dire Observer ward, so Misandrist just backs up here, great positioning from him, real awareness of the lane. And that's going to give Night Stalker some space to farm. He really is going to need to do some work here in order to recover from this, I think. Meanwhile, Jim doing just fine in this jungle. 900 gold now up on him. He is out of mana, but he's still got a Clarity left, he's got his Tango, so he's actually getting quite a bit out of this jungle. And in that terms, you know, other than the first blood, which obviously was problematic for them, it's actually not going too badly for the Dire. Pudge forced to rotate back to mid. Dr. Funtimes, he's trying to go in here. Pudge still has the hook. I don't think he wants to do this. That hook's level 3. He's going to go for it again. Just misses it there. That would have been quite nasty, I think, for Dr. Funtimes had he been hooked in. Neither mid players checked the 4-minute rune, so there's a DD waiting at that top rune spot to be claimed by someone. In the meantime, Bounty Hunter getting very close to going down here. They got this sentry ward. No, that's a Dire sentry ward. Yep. So he knew he was in cover at least there, but very close to going down. And looks like Dr. Funtimes did get hooked at mid as well. A lot going on all 3 lanes right now, but so far no kills coming out.
You're a trusty mate.
Oh, I have missed one kill though. We've got a kill on Ingi. Okay. Up on the top lane. So it looks like Ingi allowed Kunkka to get out alive there. Kunkka was on low health for a while there, so a little bit of an advantage in this top lane for them, but everyone's still CSing pretty well. I will say that Bounty's been under a lot of pressure here. He's probably going to eat this Illuminate as well. No, he's just got out. But they're going to be able to put a lot of pressure on this tower, and this is not a lane that's even a pushing lane, really. This is a lane in which Skeleton King is doing great CS. They actually put the stun out on him, but no vision. Meanwhile, Dr. Funtimes, he's rotated up top. He wants to go in on here, but the lane's just too pushed up, and they're trying to pull it now, but by the time they get this stack off on a pull, the Knight's going to be almost done. Meanwhile at bot, T1 tower below half health, so Dr. Funtimes, he's losing a lot of CS time. That said, Weaver has gone in now. Disruption comes out. Can they follow this up? Dajmeister, very low health. The torrent connects. Dr. Funtimes finishes it off. That's what they wanted from this rotation. And Pudge, he rotates up. Is he going to get anything? He could have gone for a hook there, decides against it. That's a really paid off for the Night Stalker there. It was getting a little bit worrying. He'd spent a lot of time rotated, but with that kill, he's rebalanced the top lane, rebalanced his own position in this game, and got a kill on that first night, which was really, really crucial, I think, for him. That's a really big... that's a really big kill for him. No bottle up on this Pudge. He has finished the urn already, but in a couple of cases he's picked up runes which he definitely didn't want to use at the time. So he got that DD rune and just went back to mid and had to farm with it. So not ideal for him. Might see him pick up a bottle later on. And this Batrider still farming away. He's gone for a bottle next, so I'm not sure whether he plans to switch out to one of these lanes or whether he's going to continue jungling, but he's doing just fine right now. Dr. Funtimes, a little bit of harass at the mid lane. Oh, Zero Misandrist gets stunned up underneath the sentry ward, just gets away. Excellent play from the Bounty Hunter here. Meanwhile, on top lane, Kunkka goes down to the Weaver. Looks like a double whammy while Ingi was stacking and pulling. Unfortunate. Kunkka still having an okay game, but this top lane's on a bit of a knife edge here, and Weaver, he's already got a Ring of Health up as well as the Ring of Aquila. Whereas Kunkka's looking a little bit sadder. He's got boots, but not quite finished his phase yet, and Lich is just a more fearsome presence in the early game than Ingi. Ingi, who's not quite level 6, whereas Lich has got Chain Frost up, and that makes it really difficult to try and push in without a creep wave around you, unless you can get the rotations up when you need them. So a lot of it may be hanging on Jim, not quite level 6 yet. We need his presence in these team fights, I feel. Pudge still CSing away at mid lane, rather. It's got a Staff of Wizardry up, so not far off a 4-staff. I think for the Radiant, it suits them to play a little late, but Kunkka can get pretty fierce in late game, and although many of these heroes tail off on the Dire team, they have these spells that allow them to control the way the game plays and the way these team fights play out, and you need to be really careful here because Pudge can get tanky, Skeleton King can get tanky, Weaver can get tanky, but will they be able to deal out the damage when they're all pulled out of position and picked off and purged and disrupted in the way that they're going to be later on? Track comes out on Weaver, 4 heroes up top now for the Dire. They really need to turn this into a push, I think. Jim just jungling, not an actual rotation, but meanwhile they're having pressure put on this T1 tower bot, so they need to think about whether they want to be up here or not. A little bit of harassment coming out onto Pudge at mid, but it's daytime now. Meanwhile, Chain Frost finishes off to J-Meister, just let himself get a little bit too low, and Avenue really excellent use of the Chain Frost there. Only hit one hero, but only needed to hit one hero, and that really keeping the Kunkka down in lane. And meanwhile at bot lane, who gets the last hit? Ray didn't get the last hit, but that's still going to all their heroes and applying a lot of pressure to this bot lane. They're just going to keep pushing. Looks like the Illuminate is going to miss that creep wave a little bit, but they're absolutely fine to just keep applying pressure here, and no one's coming to stop them. Kunkka's TP'd back top. No one's rotating down. Skeleton King can just safely farm this wave up. Meanwhile at top, Disruption goes out, Soul Catcher, Misandrist is here, the Torrent connects, Lich is gonna go down. Can they get this Weaver though? Zero Misandrist, he's invised up on half health, Ingi on half health as well. One more Geminate attack is gonna kill him. Is he gonna get it out? Shikuchi's under the tower, he does kill the Shadow Demon, but can he get out alive? Track's up on him now, he has got Time Lapse, but that'll take him back under the tower if he uses it. He does use it. This is incredibly ballsy from Weaver. Zero Misandrist super low now, and Jim, can he turn this around? Can he make a kill out of this? Flame Break. Torrent misses. Weaver gets away. Great play from the Weaver there. Almost had him, but just no vision to complete the lockdown. Meanwhile, at mid lane, Dr. Funtimes potentially in a bit of trouble here. Keeper Light actually uses the Illuminate. I thought he might pop his ult and try and Blinding Light him in, but Night Stalker walks right into it. That's unfortunate. Do they want to apply pressure to this tower? They've taken the T1 mid. Weaver can still use top to farm. Oh, Daj is going to go down again. This is a really unfortunate lane for Dajmeister. The Lich and the Weaver just too much lane presence compared to an Ingi, who at best can perform a disruption and really not much else. Pudge. He's looking for a hook now. He misses Ingy. Void comes out onto him. Ingy self-disrupts, just in case, but it won't be needed this time. Illuminate, a little bit wide off the mark here, and it looks like this push will be forced back quite easily. So if we start to look at the items that are being built up now, Skeleton King working towards his armor, not quite there yet. This Pudge doing quite nicely indeed. Boots and a 4 stuff up on him as well. Oh, Dismember coming out on Bounty Hunter, not quite enough, but he's still under the Sentry Ward. He needs to get out of there immediately. Stun coming out from the Skeleton King. Does he go to finish this off? He does, but this might be his life as well. The disruption comes out. Dr. Funtimes backs off. It's not quite nighttime. Another 15 seconds. He's going to catch this Illuminate if he's not careful. Just clips him.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, Weaver's pushing the top T1 as well. 4 heroes at mid. Lich, he's got Chain Frost up. He's going to try and wrap around here. Oh, a beautiful hook from Hellbrain. The vision provided by the creeps just absolutely perfect through the tree line. And this will be a T1 tower at mid. Might be a T1 tower top as well. And well, the Dire need to rethink their strategy now. Batrider does have his Blink Dagger, so this is a turning point potentially for the Dire, but they need to start picking off heroes right now. The Lich and the Kotl, very squishy, very weak at this stage of the game at least. And those are the kind of heroes they need to be focusing. The Radiant not quite 5-manning yet, so there are opportunities for these pickoffs, but they're going to have to play very, very tightly to get it done. The one thing they have on their side is this Bounty Hunter. He's been playing well, hasn't exposed himself too much yet, and the vision that he's going to be able to provide will hopefully help them get those kinds of the pickoffs that they want and the fights that they need to have. Pudge fishing around at the T2 top now. Jim spots out the illusions. Oh, he's going to have to be careful to juke this. Bit of harassment coming out onto the Pudge, but he's walking right into a Chain Frost. Dismember goes out, Disruption cancels it, but the Chain Frost has hit. Ingy takes it away. Excellent work by him, but Night Stalker looks like he's going to go down. Tracks up on the Weaver, but Lich Frost blasting Shadow Demon down. The boat comes in, it does connect on Lich, and they've got the lasso onto Hellbrain. Can they take down this Pudge? Weaver time-lapses out. A brilliant 4-stuff onto the low ground from Pudge, and Weaver's still chasing Jim. He's going to take him down. He's on such low health, but no one's able to take him out, and they haven't got any vision for him. Really close team fight. Oh, Track comes out now. They can see him, but is there enough damage? They could walk right into Pudge here if they're not careful. Dajmeister is completely visible. The hook catches him out. Did they follow up the Dismember? Yes, they do. Daj is going to go down. Bounty Hunter, he knows he can't save him. He just wants this kill on Weaver, but he's not going to get it. And if he's not careful, he's going to give up another kill here as well. A really unfortunate series of team fights for the Dire there. They got so close to killing off members of the Radiant team. And actually really good individual play from all of those heroes there, but there just wasn't enough focus on the heroes to take any of them down. Pudge gets lassoed, comes down really low. Weaver gets tracked out, but manages to make enough space for himself to get out alive, and it's just really an unfortunate fight there. Could have gone either way, but actually ends up cementing the Radiant's lead. And Kotl leading Bounty Hunter on a merry chase here. Dr. Funtimes comes to end the fun times, so to speak, but that was some interesting juking from the Keeper of the Light there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, Lich and Weaver coming up top. They know that Bounty's here. Bounty will go invis here. He sees the Lich, but they don't know Weaver's around here. Chain Frost not up. Flamebreak comes out. Are they going to get this Lich? I think that's a track kill on 3. Oh, but the Frost Armor as well. He finally goes down, but Batrider falling very low. Germinate attack could have taken him out there, and Weaver wants to die for it as well. Shikuchi's through 2 of them. Void comes out. Track goes out. Oh, he might have pushed too far. Relocates out of the track. But he's silenced now from the Night Stalker. And a lasso. They need to focus him down right now. Shikuchi's going to be out, but they do get the kill. A track kill on 3 heroes again. A nice couple of fights there that the Radiant didn't really need to take, and it might only be a small dip, but it's a dip nonetheless, back in the direction of the Dire. And if we take a look at net worth, the real problem here, the real thing that's keeping the Dire back is the fact that Kunkka was just shut down in lane so hard. Actually, he has a lower net worth than the Lich right now, and you know, the Batrider and the Bounty Hunter's position in the net worth chart is about alright. It's not a big problem, but this Kunkka needs farm and he needs levels in order to get up, and Jesse just stealing the Ancients from right under Daj's nose here, really painful. And part of that is because it's just been difficult for them to have that mobility with all their T1 towers down. They can't make the rotations they need to. Kunkka's going to back here. I think Jesse's perhaps just scaring him off, so they'll go back to farming. Weaver, he's got his Perseverance and his Ultimate Orb up, so he's almost finished his big item, his Lincoln Sphere. Keeper of the Light working towards a 4-staff. Do they have a mech on this team? Yeah, Lich has almost finished his mech now. A few more creep hits from him should do it. Meanwhile, Pudge is coming down to bot to try and save this tower. He does get the Dismember out onto Daj, but the boat isn't there to cancel it. Stun goes out onto Bounty Hunter, 4-staffed under the tower. Great play from Pudge there, but they're taking a lot of damage. He hasn't toggled Rot off yet. He's almost got Serial Mistress, but Daj is right behind him. The hook misses, lands on a creep. Stun comes out from the Skeleton King. A couple of right clicks from the Skeleton King is going to take him down. Weaver comes to clean up. They do rotate 5 heroes in just for the 1 kill, but it's putting Kunkka further and further behind. Bounty Hunter does get out on basically 0 HP, but a really close fight that again could have gone the Radiant's way, and these small losses are being compounded into big gains for the Radiant team. Night Stalker, Gloves of Haste up on him as well as the Phase Boots, so that'll be interesting to see what that turns into. Ingi looking pretty poor here. Jim doing okay, looks like he might be going for the Mechanism, which I like because right now what else can Batrider buy that's going to be better than that? Hook comes out, 4-star forward, but it's going to whiff. Applying pressure to this T2, and this could be a big fight here. They need to decide whether they want to contest this. They've got all 5 heroes here. Skeleton King is away, so if they want to take a fight that's balanced in numbers, now would be the time to do it. But Lincoln Sphere now completed on Weaver. Pudge looking for a hook. He does grab Ingi, but Batrider immediately blinks in. Great reactions from Jim. Ingi will go down, but they do get the Pudge out of position. Chain Frost, it's broken into the gang. It's juggled by some illusions, I think that was there. Seromus just eats an Illuminate to the face, and the last Chain Frost takes him down. So a 2-for-1 trade. Great reactions from Jim, but I think Ingi just dying too quick there, and the rest of the team fight just followed suit. That Chain Frost absolutely devastating for these tight engagements like this, especially combined with a big AoE spell like Illuminate. So it looks like the Radiant might get this tower, and no T1's taken still. And this Skeleton King, he's just free to farm wherever he wants. He just doesn't have a problem. And it looks like he's actually going to be recalled in right now to help with this push. So great use of mobility from the Radiant team. This Skeleton King able to find his farm and still take part in team fights like the one that looks like it's about to happen. Boat almost off cooldown for Kunkka. They need that up if they want to make a splash here. And is that Boots of Travel? Boots of Travel up on Pudge. Nice pickup. They've already got such an aggressive position. I really feel that's going to help them cement it. Ingi, a cheeky little deny on the tower, but ultimately this is not the way that the Dire want this to be panning out. Shadowblade now up on the Skeleton King. And with items like the Shadowblade and the Boots of Travel on Pudge, to me this says that they want to maintain this advantage. They're not interested in taking this late, and that's wise, because Kunkka might be a little bit behind now, but he's not going to stay behind forever. And if a hero like that does begin to gain a little bit, they farm faster, they get a few big team fights off, and suddenly you're staring at a much bigger problem in the face. And heroes like Kotl, they're alright, but late game, less of an impact. Similar with Lich as well once the BKB start coming out. So it's in their interest to finish this game sooner rather than later, even if they do have a 10k XP advantage and a 10k gold advantage.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Pudge comes in a little bit aggressive there. Flamebreak just off the mark, but he'll get out just fine. He's still got his 4-staff anyway, so not too much of a worry for him. But just systematic working down of these towers from the Radiant here. T2 mid's gone. Weaver's going to be pushing up this top lane, and Hellbrain, he's looking for Daj. He's trying to juke the hook, trying to see it out, but Dismember got a bit too close. Dr. Funtimes is going to cancel it, but the Chain Frost, it hits on Daj. It's going to bounce at least once more to him, and yep, that's the end of him. Zero Messenger just dodging the swarm, but Dr. Funtimes stunned up under the T3 tower. Disruption on Skeleton King. How far do they want to dive this? Weaver's just walking into the base. Illuminate comes out. Dr. Funtimes just dodges it there. Pudge is tracked, but another death for Kunkka, and this is just not going their way here. Phase Boots Magic Wand at 21 minutes. He's got 1,000 gold, but he needs something that's going to have an impact now. He needs to buy an item that's going to let him take some of these team fights, or at least just have something that can change the course of these fights a little bit. Either that, or they just need to go full farm and just distract for as long as possible. Have Daj just say, look, I'm not going to enter these team fights anymore. The boat is useful, but you're going to have to fight without it, because without farm, I'm just not having an impact. No signs of a Roche attempt from the Radiant yet. They've definitely got the damage out. Mech now finished up on Lich, so their team fight, which was already relatively terrifying, is now even scarier. And Pudge with 1,500 gold. It'll be interesting to see what he picks up next. I really like his item build so far. A lot of utility, a lot of sensible choices. This doesn't feel like an idle Pudge here. So I'll be interested to see what he goes for next. I think maybe just a bit of tank at this point. He's already pretty hard to kill, as we saw from the past lassos, but this will just secure it for him.
Fallen.
Weaver and Skeleton King 2 levels ahead of the Dire team, and 3 levels ahead of Kunkka. Really miserable situation, and I think... Oh, a beautiful hook at almost max range from the Pudge. He didn't follow it up, though. That would have been an absolutely brilliant kill there.
Bottom tower is under attack.
They're just pressuring these. I think they can probably go high ground right now with the lineup they've got, and the items that they've got as well. Mech. They've got a Yules now on Keeper of the Light. Looks like they want to clean up this T2 though. They don't want to take any chances here. Skeleton King pressuring the bot lane. I don't think they know he's alone. They could probably go after him if they did, but looks like they're going to be happy to leave him and Pudge. He's caught out Kunkka again. Flame Break pushes him out, but Pudge is following him with the Rot and takes him out. No Dismember. He does get lassoed up. Can they finish him off though? Immediate 4-staff out, but the Janada hits enough to finish him off. Chain Frost is a good attempt, but I think there's going to be too many creeps to juggle it. It bounces a few times. Mana Drain almost finishing off the Bounty Hunter there, but too much mana. Doesn't follow up with the stun, and he gets away. So Kunkka goes down again. They do get the Pudge. Was that a killing spree end there? Not quite, but a little bit of gold going towards the Bounty Hunter. But they lose the T2, and this is still looking pretty miserable. Feels like a lot of this just came down to those unfortunate lanes. Bounty Hunter did absolutely fine, I think, in the bot lane. He was under more pressure than he'd like to be, but it didn't go too badly. But just some unfortunate ganking and some kills that almost happened but didn't, or some kills that almost didn't happen but did. At top lane, just imbalanced that matchup that already was under pressure. A hook will whiff on Dajmeister there. More pressure coming out. That Lich is diving pretty deep, but there's just nothing to worry him really. Lasso's still down for 20 seconds. Really their only source of teamfight control. Can the Dire push back this and maybe get themselves a kill or two? Lots of tracks coming up. Lincoln's gets popped at long range. Looks like that was a track. Do they want to push into this? They don't need to, the Radiant, but I feel like they can. They're going to go in. Hook will miss. Jesse applying some pressure. Stun goes out onto Dr. Funtimes. Bounty Hunter throws out another track. He's taking a lot of damage. The Lincolns gets popped on Weaver. A defensive disruption on the Bounty Hunter. They do pop the Aegis. A huge hook from Hellbrain takes Dr. Funtimes out of the equation. Skeleton King, he's revived now. He's taking a lot of damage. He's tracked up. He's soul captured. Is he going to go down? He's already taken out Kunkka. Can he get out alive? Bounty Hunter finishes him off but gets hooked for his troubles. Pudge going to kill him on the outside of the base, and a 4-for-1 trade with a T3 probably going to go down as well. That was the decisive fight of this game, and it really feels like it's now rapidly over for the Dire. Pudge, a hook comes out, the Illuminate hits as well, not quite enough to finish them off. They don't need to, they can just finish these racks. Batrider, he can't do anything. Lasso's up, but there's just no one to finish him, to follow up with some damage. And with Night Stalker down as well, they've got all the time in the world they need to finish this off. You can see they are having trouble taking down these structures. Where's Weaver right now? Just right-clicking down. Feels like if the game were to go on much longer, you would probably see him get a Desolator, because this is kind of laughable, but right now there's just not much to worry about. They pop the Lincolns, good work from them. He attempts a very confusing save hook mixed with a relocate, but Weaver does get out nonetheless. It was some nice play to break the Lincolns and then blink in for the hook, for the lasso, but just not enough. And this Lincoln's, other than negating track, actually not really doing that much for... oh, another beautiful hook from Pudge. And he self-disrupts. Great save from him. Dr. Funtime's really getting way too deep here. Caught out on the wrong side of the Radiant team. He's going to go down again. Torrent does connect. Serial Messenger is going to go down as well. And another big Chain Frost. It's going to bounce to Daj. It's going to bounce doing E. Follows Daj back into the Phantom. E's going to go down. And Jesse, he's diving into the Phantom, but there's a huge crit that finishes him off. Unbelievable. He does finally go down. No Aegis for him this time, but an absolutely incredibly manly move from the Skeleton King. A nice blink dodge of the hook from Jim. And Weaver teleporting back now. This is the least interesting part of a pub game, I feel, with one lane of racks down, but I guess they don't really have much damage to take down these structures with backdoor protection. There's not really much minus armor on any of these heroes. There's not even much right click. I mean, Pudge is doing 115 damage. He doesn't have any items. 4k gold on him. No idea what he's saving up for. Skeleton King, he's got an armor and a basher, but he's dead, so I guess they don't really have much of an option but to push up these lanes. But Weaver going to the secret shop. What's he after? Nope, he's going to go Desolator, which absolutely makes sense right now.
Snick, snick.
Pudge, meanwhile, picks up a Blink Dagger. Finally, a bit of showiness from him, and I think he's earned it. He's had a great game so far. Some really nice work. It was a bit of a tough lane for both mid heroes. It was unsure how it was going to go, but once Pudge started rotating, it really began to go his way. And we've seen some absolutely brilliant hooks from him at long range. It's unfortunate in these random draft games because you see a hero like Lich in the pool and you wonder whether you need to pick it first. You know that they're strong in the meta, but you don't know whether it's going to be relevant for the kinds of heroes that are in the pool that you've got available to you. And Track comes out, Purge comes out, and Weaver, they do actually take him down. Another huge hook from the Pudge though. That's Dr. Funtime's dead. Track comes out with one down on each side. The Weaver is an important source of damage, but I honestly feel like Skeleton King and Pudge are more of a problem. Blink into Dismember, he'll force stuff out to avoid getting killed. Daj working towards what looks like a Battle Fury. He's got his Claymore up. Keeper of the Light immediately recalls Skeleton King, and it looks like they want to push this with just 4 of them. Pudge's hook's going to whiff, Track comes out on him again, so at least they're going to know where he is when those hooks start flying. Can they take this tower?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Creepwave pushing in at the bot lane as well, and this tower is actually deniable. A couple more hits from that catapult's going to take it, and meanwhile, the Radiant team's right-clicking on the mid lane, so real catch-22. Another huge hook. Ingi's going to self-disrupt, but this is a very dead Shadow Demon. Oh, can he get out? The newly minted 4-stuff almost gets him home safe, but one last hit from the Skeleton King. Failed both hits on nothing. Jim, he's looking for a lasso. Almost took down the Skeleton King, but he does get the Lich. Lich's ultimate was up, so that is an important source of damage for them in these team fights, but the T3 valiantly still standing, but it's not looking good for the Dire team. A huge flame break actually breaks them up quite a bit. Does make them dodge the torrent. A lot of damage coming out. Kotl's going to go down. Is Skeleton King going to go down with him? He's still got the Aegis, doing a lot of damage to Bounty Hunter. Just a couple more right clicks could do it. Weaver comes in to finish the job with the Geminate attack. And Skeleton King, he is going to have his Aegis pop, but he's going to get out just okay. And Conquer down now, Bounty Hunter down. And then most importantly, Lasso down on the Batrider. I feel like there's nothing stopping them from taking this tower. And silence up on the Weaver, but he is already Shikuchi'd, so not too much of a concern. And amazingly, this bot tower is still standing as well. 39 HP. But as I said, these random draft games, it's really difficult to know. When you've got the whole hero pool out open to you, you can make decisions based on whatever knowledge of the meta you currently have. If there's a Lich in the pool, you're comparing it to all the other heroes in the game, and you can make decisions based on what might be useful or what might not be. But in a random draft game, Weaver's
Dire's
just going
middle
to pop off
tower
that mid
has
tower.
fallen.
In a random draft game, it's difficult to tell whether a hero like Lich is going to make an impact against the heroes that are in this particular limited pool of heroes, and it was a really great draft from the Radiant, I think. Even with something crazy like the Skeleton King on the bot lane, some really solid laning from them, and the Lich paid off. Defensive hook out from the Pudge there. I think maybe the questionable draft selection from the Dire really came down to these this support makeup, having the jungling Batrider. But again, who are we to say? We couldn't see that draft of heroes they had on offer, and it looks like they had a plan, they just weren't able to execute it because of this aggressive laning. A huge Chain Frost now coming out. Batrider's going to go down. Bounty Hunter's going to go down. The boat does come in. It's going to connect on 4. A massive boat from Kunkka, but too little, too late. Kotl riding in, able to save his teammates. They're going to take this lane of Rax. I can't believe this tower's still standing at bot, but it's not going to be for very long because the creeps are pushing up. And it looks like this is going to be GG.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen. Dire's middle barrack. Dire's middle
come on,
barracks
creeps.
has fallen. Dire's bottom
All 3
tower
towers gone
has
now.
fallen.
Radiant team looking to push down Rax, and I think we've finally reached the point of GG. Let's have a look at that graph. Didn't really ever threaten to dip down for the Dire, despite some okay team fights and pickoffs about 10 minutes ago. But good play from the Radiant team. Excellent play from Hellbred on the Pudge. Really like watching that this game. And a valiant effort just not working out for the Dire.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
One last team fight. Dr. Funtimes pops the darkness. They do manage to lasso Weaver and torrent him, but he just time-lapses right back out again. The Desolator doing so much damage. He disruption dodges the hook. Nice plays there from the Shadow Demon. But forced back into their fountain. In terms of the lineup of heroes, another beautiful hook from Pudge. Followed up by the torrent though, cancels the attempted dismember. In terms of hero lineup, it's just some great skill shots and just interesting heroes in both teams here. So, a very fun game to watch, but didn't work out the way the Dire were hoping.
Dire's Ancient is under attack. Radiant victory.
Alright guys, well, thank you very much for watching. We'll be casting some more games later on, and I'll be popping this one up on our YouTube channel, which is That's Dota, later on today. So, thanks very much for watching, and join us for some team matchmaking or more Sekritcast games later on. Bye bye.